Happy Monday, my friends, and happy first day of March. Today, we are going to be learning all about lines of symmetry and seeing if polygons or shapes are symmetrical. So I want to first start by showing you some supplies that you're going to need. First, you're going to open up your workbook to problem set 4.12. Of course, you need your whiteboard and marker to do some review, a pencil, a piece of paper, and some scissors. So you could pause this and get your materials ready. First, if you want to take a picture of this so you have the definition in your iPad, a line of symmetry. It's when you can cut a shape or a polygon in half and it matches up. So for example, this shape right here on my screen, this is a line of symmetry. It's symmetrical, which means if I folded this shape in half, they would match up, they would line up, they would meet exactly, okay? If I tried to do a line this way, it would not be symmetrical because this would not match the other side. So this is not a line of symmetry. There's only one line of symmetry in this polygon or shape, okay? So if you didn't already, please go ahead and take a screenshot so you have this definition on your iPad to refer back to. We're going to watch a quick song on here. If you could pause your video, go to today's slides and click on it so that way you can watch it, okay? Hopefully you loved that video and it was just another way to help you remember these, the definition of lines of symmetry. All right, here we go. So in your workbook for today, you're opened up to 4.12, and I'll show you mine, 4.12 problem set. We're gonna cut these out, these shapes. I drew mine, but you could just literally cut out those shapes. So you should have 6 of them total that you're gonna cut out. So pause your video and cut those for me, and then come back and we're going to try to find some lines of symmetry using them, okay? So cut those out and then come back to me. All right, so the first one we have is this quadrilateral. Quadrilateral meaning 4, there's 4 sides. Now we know this is a trapezoid because we've been studying shapes for multiple years now, but a quad means 4 and there's a 4-sided shape. Now we're trying to see different ways we can find lines of symmetry. So let me show you my trapezoid. And I'm just gonna fold it different ways to see where are there lines of symmetry. So for example, if I cut it in half, fold it in half exactly, do they line up? Do those sides line up? Check that out, see. Okay, so I folded it one time, and when I folded it, I found a line of symmetry when I cut it in half because it matched up evenly. Now I'm gonna try a different way. I'm gonna try it folding it horizontal, and we cut it like in half, and I notice that this is not equal. These do not match up, so that's definitely not a line of symmetry. I'm gonna try it diagonal now. Oh, definitely not. Let's try the other corner. Nope, definitely not. So I know that there is one line of symmetry for this quadrilateral because when I lined it up and I cut it in half, they match perfectly, exactly. So I'm going to write on this trapezoid 1 because there's one line of symmetry, okay? I want you to try the next shape, which is a square. I want you to see, try folding it different ways, diagonal. How many lines of symmetry do you think there are in a square? All right. Hopefully when you were doing the lines of symmetry with a square, you noticed that there were 4 lines. There's the vertical line, or if we just took it in half. There was the horizontal line, again, cutting it in half. There was the diagonal line, and then there was another diagonal line. So total for the square, there's 4 lines of symmetry. 4 lines of symmetry. Let's keep it moving. So we're gonna try this next one. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. I want you to try folding it and identifying how many lines of symmetry. Go ahead. Hopefully when you did this one, you noticed there was only one line of symmetry and it was right down the middle. And if we folded it in half, everything lined up exactly, but all the other ways did not work. There was only one line of symmetry. This next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. How many lines of symmetry could you find? Pause the video and try it out. All right, so what I did is I always like to start the vertical one, and I noticed when I folded it vertically, it definitely had a line of symmetry. Next, I like to try horizontal right across, and again, I found a line of symmetry. I went diagonal, and I was able to find a line of symmetry. I went the other diagonal, and I was able to find a line of symmetry. And then last, what I did was I just tried folding it in half again, but from in between, and I found another line of symmetry. So total for this one, I found 6 lines of symmetry. It's a little folded and weird at this point, but 6 of them. All right, we have 2 more left. I want you to pause your video. First, we'll try the Pac-Man. Can you find any lines of symmetry here? And then we'll try like the bolded plus sign. Go ahead, pause your video and check back with me. All right, for the Pac-Man, I only could find one. I could only find one line of symmetry. One line when I cut it in half. And for my plus side, I found 4. 1, 2, let me try to show you. 1, 2, I did diagonal and diagonal. 3 and 4, so I'm going to write a big 4 for lines of symmetry. So hopefully you're realizing lines of symmetry are when we line them up and they match exactly. They kind of mirror each other, right? And that means that they're symmetrical, All right, let's keep moving on our slides here. Circle the figures that have a correct line of symmetry drawn. This is your number 1 on your workbook. So you're just going to simply have to imagine, okay, this arrow, if I folded it in half where they're saying there is a line of symmetry, would they mirror? Would they match up exactly? So go ahead and try, and you're going to circle, the ones that do, that their line of symmetry is in their correct place. Go ahead and try that. Okay. Here we go. Make sure I have a good color so you can see it. So if I matched these ones up or I folded it, I would see that yes, they are symmetrical. They would match up. Over here, again, it would be symmetrical. This one would not. If you notice, this side's a little thicker than this other side, so it would not match up. And last, this arc would definitely match up. So 3 out of the 4 of them have the lines of symmetry drawn correctly. Okay, nice job. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the other half. So what I want you to imagine is only half of the polygon or shape has been drawn, and we need to show the exact other side, what it would look like if we unfolded it. So for example, I would use my straight edge or piece of paper or something to make sure it's nice and straight. And if I have 1, 2, 3 blocks on this side would have the exact same. So it would have 1, 2, 3. And then going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would match exactly if its lines are symmetrical. And again, 3. Notice that this is our line of symmetry in the middle, and it is the exact same. The other portion of the polygon is the same. Okay. I want you to try one. So in your workbook, I did the rectangle, which then ended up Now I want you to try this one. So remember to use a straight edge. I don't want to see like lines like this. I want to see nice straight lines, okay? Make sure you're using a straight edge and then check back with me. So if you did this correct, you counted over and you had 3, and then by 4, by 3. Again, you need to have a straight edge to make sure it was nice and straight, okay? And we could agree if we folded it on the line of symmetry, they would match exactly, right? They have lines of symmetry. All right, I want you to think about this question. So if I have a circle, how many lines of symmetry does the figure have? So I want you have a picture of a circle right there on your workbook. How many lines of symmetry could we have with a circle? Go ahead and think about that, draw all over it, and be ready to explain. Okay, so for a circle, this is like my favorite answer. We could sit here all day. We couldn't even count them. As long as you were going through the center point of the circle, we couldn't even count how many lines of symmetry a circle could have because there would be an infinite amount. However, if you did not go through the center point, that point in the center of the circle, it wouldn't make sense. So you have to go through that center point right in the middle of the circle, but you wouldn't even be able to count them all up. There would be an infinite amount of lines of symmetry. You couldn't even count them, friends. It would go to infinity and beyond. But you have to make sure you're going through that center point, okay? All right, your exit ticket for today. If you're virtual, you're gonna message me. If you're in a classroom, you're just gonna simply write it on your whiteboard for your homeroom teacher. So what are lines of symmetry? What is a line of symmetry? And how many lines of symmetry does a circle have? Remember, my virtual friends, this is how I take attendance. I make sure you're participating, is how you answer throughout class. So because you're not in the classroom to write on your whiteboard or hold up your answer, I really need your exit ticket. So make sure you email me, message me in the chat, something so I know your understanding of math class today. All right, guys, thanks for working hard and learning all about lines of symmetry.